Okay, so I just did 4 passes with the rake at, I think this is, what does that look like, 45 degrees? This would be straight. It's probably straight 45 and a lot. Or maybe it's 33 and 66. Yeah, it's not quite 45. It's probably 30, 60. So the way I hooked it up was with this guy. These are all hot. That's kind of cool. This I had hooked up backwards. Everything is good. We need some shims there. That's Scotty hooked it up. That's fine. And it sits in this guy. You'll notice I shimmed this out. We need to shim that side. And that side I have, believe it or not, I've got all that. These stabilizer bars work perfect. Everything, it's a little loose the way it's supposed to be. Everything held together. Took me a while to figure out. The tractor kept turning off, and so finally I said, well, why don't I turn that knob, because I don't know what it does and it might be fuel, and sure enough it was. So now the tractor runs without you having to pull out the choke all the time. That's a big plus. So this all came out real nice. Took almost, not all the bumps, but it took all the really like jagged bumps out and smoothed everything over. For doing this for the first time, got a little deposit here and there, but feel good about it. You don't see any of the, well, okay, there's this pothole, but when I went over the pothole, it's a whole process. And by the way, this is wet gravel. As it turns out, wet gravel is really heavy, and it was everything the tractor could do to lift the blade at 28 horsepower, made in 1949. But it did great. It did this perfectly. This is exactly what I needed it to do, and it did it. This was a huge dip here that it filled in really nicely. I mean, considering it was my first time, I think it did great. I think I did great. I think I'm probably a great person. This is dirt, not dung, which it probably looks like on TV. There were, I don't know if you remember, but there were potholes all up and down this. I went over it probably 4 or 5 times, which I think turned out really well. I'm actually happy I started doing this in the rain. The rain let up. Just sort of overcast now, but if I had done this during the day, this would have been dust city. The dust would have been probably unbearable, and so the rain kept the dust to like 0. Here's another pothole. All of this is potholes over here, and a lot of them filled in nice. It'll be interesting to see how this holds up, and if I need to do it again in a week. I just don't know, because it's my first time doing it. This was a big divot here, and I lifted the blade on purpose to get all this in here, and I think it did. I keep saying this, but I'm very happy. Let's see, it's really nicely level. It's nicely flat. It was all sorts of hilly before. And you know me, I like to achieve a maximum speed of 40 miles an hour on any driveway that I own. And I couldn't do more than 20. That's no good. And this was kind of like, and this is far more flat now, I think. And I just like the way it looks. And it's my driveway, and I like the way it looks. And here's some old underpants. No, that's a sock, I think. It's a sock. Okay. Spring is here, filling up the reservoir. And I just sort of smoothed it in the front here and went across the front with one last swing. I'm now signaling with dirty underpants as my neighbors watch me. It's turned around in there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this does on the grass in terms of removing rocks. So that will be exciting.